You've probably heard that old saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But have you ever stopped to wonder how that actually works? Like, what's the mechanism? Well, today, we're going to dive into how life's most painful moments can actually become the very things that forge our greatest strengths. This isn't just about bouncing back from a tough time. It's about bouncing forward.
And we're going to start right here with these incredibly raw words from Hollywood stuntwoman Rochelle Okoye. Because, to really understand strength, you have to be willing to look pain right in the eye. Her story, it just sets the perfect stage for this journey, from being completely broken to finding this profound personal power.
Okay, so first things first, let's just get one thing straight. Hardship, it isn't something you can just sidestep or opt out of. Life's storms are, well, a guaranteed part of being human. The real question, the one that changes everything, is what are you going to do when that storm inevitably hits?
Now, this next idea, it really asks you to flip your entire perspective. See, most of us spend our lives trying to avoid discomfort, right? But what if we saw it differently? What if adversity isn't the enemy, but the teacher? It has this way of stripping away all the fluff, forcing us to get real, and it becomes, literally, the curriculum for mastering ourselves.
And listen, this isn't just some abstract theory. Look at these real-life crucibles. Logan Aldridge, who's now Peloton's first adaptive instructor, lost his arm in a boating accident when he was just a teenager. And Rochelle Okoye, she not only survived an incredibly abusive childhood, but later on, as a stuntwoman, she suffered an injury so bad that doctors told her she'd never walk again. These are the kinds of storms we're talking about.
And this is what it all leads to. It leads to this pivotal moment, a crossroads. When you're in that place of intense pain, of loss, you are standing at a fork in the road. And you, and only you, have a choice to make.
And wow, Rochelle Okoye just nails it with this quote, victim or victor. It's that profound moment when you realize that no one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. And this isn't about blaming anyone for their circumstances, it's about claiming your power to be the hero of your own story.
So what do we call that quality that lets someone make that choice, the victor's choice? Well, it's called psychological resilience. The basic definition is just the ability to cope with a crisis and bounce back. But here's the key. It's not some magic trait you're born with. It's a set of skills and strategies that anyone can learn and practice.
So how do you start building it? Well, it all begins with how you frame stress. See, when you see a tough situation as a threat, your body goes into fear mode, fight or flight. All you can think about is what you might lose. But if you can reframe that exact same situation as a challenge, everything changes. You feel focused, you get a different hormonal response, one that gives you energy. And you can access all your mental and physical resources to perform at your best. That right there, that is the victor's mindset in action.
Okay, so you're probably asking, how do I actually do this? How do I build this mindset? Well, it comes down to really practical, actionable habits. If you're going to be the hero of your journey, you need the right tools, right? So think of these habits as the armor and the sword that you're going to forge for the path ahead.
The first set of tools is all about your internal world, your mindset. First, you have to actively train yourself to focus on the positive, to look for solutions, not just stare at the problems. Second, you got to keep perspective. In those tough moments, it's so easy for our minds to feel helpless. You have to fight that by seeing the facts for what they are, without all the extra drama. And third, and this is a big one, always remember your why, your purpose. That's your North Star when everything else goes dark.
A strong mindset is absolutely crucial, but you have to back it up with action. Each of these steps is about taking your power back. Try something new, anything, just to prove to yourself that you can still grow. Find a role model, someone who shows you what's possible. Give back, because helping others is one of the fastest ways to find purpose beyond your own pain. And maybe most importantly, be kind to yourself. Self-compassion isn't weakness. It's the fuel that lets you get back up again and again.
Just think about the power of a role model for a second. While Logan Aldridge was recovering in the hospital, he was contacted by the surfer, Bethany Hamilton, who, as you might know, also lost an arm. Her example didn't just show him what was possible, it reminded him that he wasn't alone. And that tells us something huge. Social support is an absolute backbone for mental toughness. So all these habits we're talking about, mastering your mindset, taking action, they are all designed to build this one super important thing called self-efficacy. It's that core belief, that deep down confidence that you can do hard things. It's the engine that makes resilience go. And you can think of this as your practical playbook for building that belief. When a challenge just feels overwhelming, what can you actually do?
Well, you can focus on your effort, not just the result. You can learn from your mistakes instead of beating yourself up. You can remind yourself of times you succeeded in the past. These aren't just feel-good ideas. They are concrete actions that systematically build your confidence.
And that really gets to the heart of it all, doesn't it? These habits aren't about helping you avoid pain. They are about building the strength to face it, to understand it, and ultimately to use it as fuel for your own growth.
Okay, so now we get to what I think is the most powerful idea in this entire journey. The goal isn't just to get back to who you were before the crisis. The ultimate transformation is to use that experience to become something more. It's not about bouncing back. It's about bouncing forward.
And this phenomenon actually has a name. It's called post-traumatic growth. It's the experience of positive, meaningful change that can happen after you've navigated a major life crisis. Now, this is really important. This doesn't mean you're glad the trauma happened. Not at all. It means you found a way to create something profoundly good from it.
So, what does this growth actually look like? Well, researchers have found that it tends to show up in 5 main areas. You get a renewed, deeper appreciation for life. You discover a personal strength you never knew you had. Your relationships become stronger and more meaningful. You might experience spiritual growth, and you start to see brand new paths for your life that you never would have considered before.
And I mean, this is post-traumatic growth in a nutshell. Logan Aldridge made a conscious decision. He decided that losing his arm was going to be the catalyst for his growth, the very thing that would push him to become the person he always wanted to be. I mean, what an incredible act of reframing that is. So as we bring all of this together, the real takeaway is this: you have the power to write your own story. And that starts with this fundamental belief that maybe, just maybe, adversity doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, as a necessary experience for your growth.
And this might be the most critical distinction of all. Whatever happened to you, it may not have been your fault. Of course not. But the responsibility for healing, that belongs to you. And when you accept that responsibility, that's where you find your true power.
And this quote from Rochelle just says it all, doesn't it? It's the final summary of that choice. It's like an act of alchemy, turning the lead of pain into the gold of power, and turning the wounds of your past into the wisdom that guides your future.
Which brings us right back to where we started. This whole journey we've explored from victim to victor, it's about one thing: choosing to be your own hero. It's about building that unshakable belief you see here, that self-efficacy, that deep down knowledge that you can, in fact, do hard things.
So I want to leave you with this final question to think about. It's not about wishing for hardship, it's about deciding, right now, ahead of time, how you'll respond when it arrives. Who would you become if you chose to see every challenge not as a curse, but as a curriculum?